I'm AJ Green. You're watching NFL in London.
Here we go. We start the video before we start the podcast. And it's time. It's time for the Jesus. What I think is podcast number 65. I think so. 66.
Is it what?
I can't remember which number it is. It's a week 4 preview.
I've already forgotten.
I've already forgotten.
Well,
Yeah.
we only start arbitrarily doing
No,
it.
I did actually. I did count them up, and we do have it on our social media.
It just feels weird after a while, right? Like if you're doing it for like years, you're like podcast 732.
Well,
like,
that will be us eventually. We've been doing this for 10 years. We've done podcasts before, but we haven't actually fully utilized them. We've done like bit pieces here and there, but we haven't actually utilized it in a full sense. Anyway, we got 3 dogs back again, so hopefully they'll leave us alone. I just fed them. Wade and Ryan, it is the week 4 preview, where we go through and we make our predictions. Who's going to win this week? Who is going to win in the NFL? And some big games coming up, of course, next week. Week 5, Chicago Bears versus Oakland Raiders. Or LA Raiders, whatever you want. And
you know what? It was such an enticing game if Antonio Brown was playing. It'd be spicy.
No,
It'd be kind of fun. At least you'd have that excitement of this. Like it just, as if someone who's going to go to the game with my brother, it just does not feel good for the Raiders. I feel like Khalil Mack has been circling this one for years.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this game. I'm not going to the game.
I think even Raiders fans, when Khalil Mack like destroys Derek Carr, will just stand up and give him the applause because they love him. They didn't want to see him go.
I think they will as well. I'm not going to the game, but I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a great away victory for the Bears. But we'll get into that one. We'll talk about the Thursday night game, which we both predicted. I predicted. Ryan predicted that
Packers. I'm sure I took
Packers.
The Packers.
You took the Packers. You did, and I took the Eagles. Well, I took the Eagles to cover it. So they did cover it. Not win, but they covered.
Well, yeah, because the Packers are favorites, so they definitely.
Packers were favored by 7.5, and they didn't win. So I took the Eagles to take that, which means I won. That's how betting works, folks. That's how betting works. All right, we're going to go through our Week 4 matchups. We're not going to start with my favorite one. We'll start with this one right here. Let's move on. Well, we'll start actually. How about this? I've already written these ones down. How about when we start with the ones I've written down? Carolina at Houston. Carolina at Houston, and we're talking Cam Newton. He's in the sad. He's wearing the sad hat now. The sad hat of Cam Newton. We've got Kyle Allen.
He's gonna come in full.
He is the new
outfit.
Gardner Minshew. But this is we played against Houston.
It's so funny, like the Gardner Minshews and the Kyle Allens. As someone who has always been so desperate to have a quarterback finally step up, I actually feel for the Carolinas who are thinking like maybe because Kyle Allen threw 4 touchdowns in his debut, had a great game
against Arizona.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's against Arizona, but
he also had 2 fumbles.
But this is one of those things where when you're a fan, you're like, oh, maybe it's time to check it. It's like when Nathan Peterman came in and threw 5 picks in there.
Yeah.
I was 100% on board with it. I was like, yeah, let's see what Nathan Peterman, because I knew what Tyrod Taylor was.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, let's see what Nathan Peterman was. Unfortunately, it was a disaster. But it was hilarious at the same time because you don't often get to see 5 interceptions in one half. So
no, you don't.
But I feel like that's what Kyle Allen has the potential to be. I think because Cam Newton's now, people are wondering about his future in Carolina. Yeah. And they're already now turning the page. Everyone will turn on you very fast in the NFL. Wow. Eli Manning has discovered that very quickly. Yeah. They're like, Eli who? Right? Yeah. They're just like, we got Daniel Jones.
We discovered that in England, too.
Danny Dimes. Huh. So that's kind of how I feel about...
So Carolina's favored in this one, or Houston's favored by 4.5. The over/under is 47 points.
I'm going to take Houston. I think just being at home against Kyle Allen, Deshaun Watson's playing awesome. Hopkins looks great. Their running game looks really good with Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde. The defense, so I'm kind of curious to see how Kyle, but on the road in Houston, it's going to be loud, so I think he's really going to struggle. I think Houston's going to win this easily. I'm definitely going to pick this to cover as well when I do my picks. And I'm going to say 30-17.
30-17. You didn't look at my sheet, but you're very close in this one. I chose 30-21. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is going to have a great game in this one.
For who? For Houston?
I've got Houston. Oh, okay. Houston wins this one 30-21. I see this, Houston's at home. They're going to be playing for home. Deshaun Watson is playing very well lately. The only thing, their offensive line still is a bit suspect for me. But I think that defense is going to get at Kyle Allen really quickly. He's going to struggle a lot in this one. I could see him throwing a few picks in this sucker as well. And Houston's defense, I have Houston's defense doing very well in this one. I have the over at 51 points, and Ryan has the you're just under at 47.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Cleveland, Baltimore. Hey, we'll be showing this one at Belushi's Hammersmith as well. Do you want to watch the game in a booth with some people? Come watch it with us. We'll be watching it. Cleveland is 1-2. Baltimore is 2-1. Baltimore favored in this one. 7 points with the over/under 45 points.
It's a tough game, right? Because Baker's on the defensive.
Well, LA carved them up.
Everyone's questioning all the hype around them. Freddie Kitchens with that terrible 4th and 9.
Yeah.
This is like Cleveland's worst nightmare, right? Like, everyone was so excited going into it, and it's all completely fallen apart. Baker Mayfield, 5 interceptions. He has 19 interceptions since he's been in the NFL. He's leading the league in interception. And I think we're just kind of forgetting stuff like that with Baker.
I'm not.
And I think because he did break Peyton Manning's record, he's got the swagger. He got Odell Beckham, but right now it just does not look like it's working. And I don't know who it is. I don't think they should have given it to Freddie Kitchens personally. But even though people will be like, "Oh, you're just saying that now because he's doing bad." But you just don't give guys who've never been a coach someone like Baker Mayfield and then get someone like Odell to come on with the watch stuff, and he's producing, but he's not scaring anyone. I really worry for this. I really think because Cleveland's on the road, I think Baltimore's going to win. I just think they're the more stable team. I'm bringing my Baltimore love.
Are you?
Back.
The love he hated.
I have turned.
So,
But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be 21-20.
21-20 for Baltimore.
In a close game, a little Tucker field goal to win it.
Tucker, Scucker. I know what the problem with Cleveland is. It's their offensive line. It sucks. He's got no time.
Oh, no, it would be a touchdown. Never.
So, what's that?
No, I said Tucker. If I said 21-20, it couldn't have been a field goal to win it.
Yeah, well,
so I just figured that out.
That's fine. It could be a field goal to win it if they had 18 points. But look, Cleveland's offensive line sucks. That's why Baker Mayfield is throwing a lot of people. He's throwing off his back foot. He doesn't have a lot of time. But they're also very good at stopping the running game, but their secondary is not. I see Lamar Jackson carving up their secondary. But I think Ingram's going to struggle against him. I think Cleveland's pretty good against the run. But, you look what LA did to their secondary last week. Lamar Jackson's going to have a lot of time.
It's a big game because Lamar, even though he had a nice fourth quarter, he wasn't massively accurate.
No.
So I think this is a big game for him to bounce back.
Well, that was different. That was in LA.
Especially this first round that I was the last pick in the first round going against the first pick in the first round. And right now, everyone's kind of wishing they had the last pick. So it's going to be a real battle. That's why I'm very excited to watch this game.
This will be a good game. We will also
keep an eye on it.
We will also, as I said, showing this game at Belushi's Hammersmith if you want to come watch it. I have this game actually a bit higher scoring, but I have Baltimore winning this one by 3 points. I have Cleveland actually keeping this one tight. Because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to score. But I have Baltimore winning this one 31.
7 seems like a big number.
31-28. I think it's too big. I've got this one, Baltimore winning by a bit, but Cleveland is 1-2. They're going to have to put up something. They're going to come out firing. This is a division rival. I have this one 31-28 Baltimore. Definitely hitting the over, but Cleveland making the cover. Washington, New York Giants. Giants are favored by 3. Over in 49.5 points. Hey, everyone's talking about Daniel Jones, but he played Washington. So,
no, he played Tampa Bay.
You're playing Washington now.
Hey, listen,
and Saquon Barkley is hurt. So
you can only play what you put in front of you, right? Like, he hasn't done anything saying that. I think Daniel Jones had a great game. I think there's just all this hype. Like, I'm watching all these YouTube shows, and people are like, Daniel Jones is better than Baker Mayfield. It's like he's played 1 game, and people have just gone absolutely mental. Let's see if he does it again. Like, is he going to be like Deshaun Watson a couple years ago, where he just came out and put up like 21 touchdowns in 7 games before blowing out his knee? Like, I'm not ready to anoint Daniel Jones. I like Daniel Jones. I want to see him keep doing well, and I think this is a perfect matchup. Washington's right now just a disaster. Like, you can't be afraid of them. Jay Gruden's basically, if he doesn't put in Haskins soon, he's gonna lose his job, and he might get fired before the end. He's one of those guys who's like so arrogant. He's just like, no, I can win with Colt McCoy. It's like, dude, see the big picture. You got to put in Haskins. It's just unbelievable. Washington gets what they deserve until they change their name. I have no faith that Washington's ever going to do anything right. That they're cursed by their own arrogance.
Curse of the names. Well, they're not as bad as the Dolphins. So how do you see this game? What's your score in this one?
I think Daniel Jones is going to win. I think he's going to continue his hot streak. He's also going to turn it over a couple times, I think. I think it's going to be 24-21.
I have it 24-21 as well, but
really?
for the other team. I actually think Washington's going to finally win this first game. I think McLaurin is perfectly set up for this one. You know, New York can stop the run, but they don't have Saquon Barkley.
That's true.
And Washington now, 0-3 and you're facing a division rival. I could see Haskins coming into this game. They are going to start Case, but you know what? Why not bring him in half, see what happens? I can see him lighting it up. I can see them switching it up, maybe being down, coming back, putting him in. But I have Washington winning this one 24-21. And Giants, their secondary is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah,
it is the worst. You can torch it. And there's lots of time. You got lots of time to chuck it down. So I think they're going to pick them apart. They're going to have lots of time to pick them apart.
I don't have as much faith in Washington's offense.
I have faith in teams that are 0-3, not going to 0-4.
Yeah, this is two terrible teams playing it. So I think it's a perfect matchup for the legend of Daniel Jones.
I think it's perfect for Washington to say, look, we're not going to take this anymore.
Either way, this is like a pick 'em.
This is a pick 'em too. Chargers at Miami. Hey, it's like, who wants a shot at the easy girlfriend? It is Miami.
It is.
Miami. The over-under this is 15.5-point favorites for the Chargers. 44 points, easy win. I'm not even going to get into this game. I have Chargers winning this one 40-10.
Just like in your face.
No, it's just going to be like Phillip Rivers.
I don't think my Chargers offenses look good enough to put up 40. I think Miami's going to put up a bigger fight in this one. I think they're tired of being laughed at. I think they actually stood up for a bit against Dallas. For a while, it was like 10-6 at half.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't this.
Dallas isn't as good as everyone thinks.
I think the Chargers are obviously the better team. I think Melvin Gordon coming back. I don't think he's going to play. Eckler's had fumbling problems, but I want to see this defense do something. I want to see them have a big game. But I think Miami's going to score a few points, but I still think they're going to cover. I'm going to say it's going to be 31-20. 31-20. I'm going to give them this.
31-20. So Ryan's seeing the cover, and he's also going the over as well. I'm going the over, but also I think they're going to cover. Hey, this is going to be quite a game, actually. Oakland, 1-2. They're coming to London next week. London. And then, I don't know why I'm doing that. And they're 1-2. And they're facing Indianapolis, who's 2-1. Indianapolis is 7-point favorites. 45 points is the over-under in this one. Holy crap.
Yeah, this is like... this is one of those weird games because I think Oakland's in a lot of trouble with, especially Derek Carr right now just doesn't look like he's in John Gruden's future. And the thing is, it'd be really interesting if Peterman wasn't on the IR, if you'd see Gruden just being like, let me show you how to use Peterman.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be my dream if that happened, just to see that. But I think right now, Oakland just looks lost. I think the bluster of John Gruden, who's like the Boris Johnson of NFL coaches. He's just all bluster and just talking like, yeah, John, I love these guys. But right now, they just lack talent. I think Josh Jacobs looks good. Mm-hmm. I just think without AB, when Tyrell Williams and Waller, your tight end, are your best weapons, it's just not a recipe for success, especially when you don't have any pass rush. I haven't heard anything Cleveland Farrell. Abrams got injured, your other first-round pick. It's going to be a rough year for Oakland, but they're going to get a top pick, and they're going to be ready for Las Vegas. But the real question will be, will Derek Carr be going to Vegas with them? Because right now, I don't think he will be.
We're going to Vegas, baby!
I don't think Carr's going to Vegas.
Yeah. No, I don't think he is.
I think the Colts are going to win this. I think they're going to win it 27-17.
27-17. I think it would be funny if they left Derek Carr back in Oakland like a Home Alone thing where he's stuck in the Coliseum.
I don't think it's Derek Carr's fault.
And like he has to set up the Coliseum like Home Alone and trick all the other guys that come in and get him.
I feel bad for Derek Carr because I think like a couple years ago he was having such a good season when he did it before he broke his ankle. And he's just had bad luck ever since. Like they fired the coach and then Gruden and then AB left. And I think when AB left, I think it broke him a bit.
Yeah, good.
He knew he had this weapon that could show people, looks, and now he's stuck with just
we're stuck with it. And, Indianapolis is still struggling with some stuff, too, as well. But the whole thing, let's look at it last week. Austin Hooper just ripped apart Indianapolis. He was... So the thing that Darren Waller is going to do it, he's going to do it as well. I would take him in fantasy. If you're looking to take him in fantasy. Josh Jacobs, that front defense, that front defensive line of the Colts is really tough. I can see them using Jacobs a lot, but I think they're going to get stymied. The whole thing the Carr's going to have to rely on is short passing yards. He's going to have to do some quick outs. But Indianapolis is injured. They've had more injuries, and they keep getting more injured.
Got a bit injured. But...
So he's going to throw two. So I have Oakland covering this spread. I have Indianapolis winning this one 28-24. I think Oakland's going to keep it in tight. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Indianapolis winning it.
So come on, Oakland.
Make it a good game.
Show some heart.
Here's the game. Here's the guy. Kansas City. Oh, what? 3-0? Hey, Patrick Mahomes, how's he doing for you? At Detroit, 2-0-1. Kansas City's favored this one, 6.5 points. 55 points is the over-under. Now, look, this is going to be a great game. It's in Detroit, which means they're going to be throwing jobs out to the crowd. But this is going to be a tough one. When Patrick Mahomes he's 300 points. He's just averaging 300 yards a game. He's just doing it. So what's going to happen? He's not faced this kind of front pressure. I think Detroit's got some good pressure. But at the same time, I believe Matthew Stafford can chuck it back. You got Kenny Golladay, but they've also, they've got a running and a passing game.
This is a couple of things that are really cool about this. This is Patrick Mahomes' first ever dome game, which is hilarious. He's never played in the dome, so imagine everyone says like everything's faster and you light it up.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes is going to go off.
Mahomes in a dome.
In a dome. Like, you've never played in a dome, which is actually kind of weird. You think, I guess he's only played one season, but you think he would have played in a dome. But again, I think right now Detroit's been 2-0-1, looking good. But I think right now they're kind of in the same situation as Buffalo, which is I'm sure we'll get to, is where people are just kind of like, this team's not for real because the big dogs are coming into town.
Yeah.
So now this is like the true test. If Detroit can at least be competitive, I don't think anyone's expecting Detroit to win.
No.
I think this to me is a really good point spread. I really like this one. What is it?
6.5.
6.5. I think that, especially Pat Mahomes' first game in the Dome, they're going to be moving that everywhere. LaShawn McCoy's look great. I think Detroit is going to get humbled. They're going to get shown the Mahomes treatment. And I think it's going to be 38-28.
38-28. So I have it 35-30. I actually see, one thing Matt Stafford is, and I've said this before, he can chuck the ball. He can keep up. So it's going to be keeping up with Patrick Mahomes every play. He's going to chuck it down. You've got to answer. And I think he can't answer this week. Detroit's going to be at home. They're 2-0-1. They're undefeated. So the team has got to feel good. They're in a home game in the Dome. Mahomes in the Dome. Mahomes I see winning. He's still going to be at 300 yards, but I don't think he's going to cover the spread. I still think that though they will do the over. I've got 65 points in total in this one. 5 points is what I've got the spread at, but I've got it 35-30. Now the game that we'll be watching with Ryan at Hammersmith Belushi's.
Game of the year.
It's on the huge projector. We can watch in stadium seating, and there's also private booths. Not really private. People can be and watch it. You got a 50-inch TV right above it, so you can watch it, get 10 people in there. Pretty awesome. But New England at Buffalo, 7.5-point favorites for New England, both 3-0. 42.5 points over-under, which is surprising. I thought it'd be a little higher than this. And New England has not allowed a touchdown in the past 4 games. So, this is going to be
I know one thing. I can guarantee you one thing that will happen this weekend. Because whenever Tom Brady comes to Buffalo, I promise you, a dildo will be thrown on that field. Okay, that is my guarantee.
I'm sure.
There is coming. It's happening. It happens every single time. I can't wait to see when it happens.
Do you know? Can you imagine the security briefing that they have for this? All right, everyone, just so you know, we're looking for phalluses. We're looking for any kind of phallus.
Is it the same guy who does it every year, or is it like this thing where it's just like, no, that's my thing?
Well, I wonder too.
I'm the dildo guy.
If they're checking for dildos, how do you sneak one into the stadium if they check your bag? How would you do that?
I know one way.
Yeah.
But
throw them through the table.
But I think this is going to be the ultimate test. I think, look, you're playing two teams who have the combined winning record of 1-9. They've went up against. It's just embarrassing. There's been no one's been able to win. I think either team. Now this is the biggest test. You have Tom Brady, who's actually, since Sean McDermott's been the head coach, Tom Brady in his 4 games against the Bills has 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is almost even though he's still
beating
undefeated 4-0, but that is a real improvement from what we've seen over the years. So I think Sean McDermott's found out really how to get to Tom Brady, and I think the key is the Bills have never had anything close to an offense that could keep up. Mm-hmm. I think now the one thing that's interesting about them is that they have the offensive line that can get the drives of 7-8 plays.
Yeah.
They're not just going 3 and out, throwing picks left and right and just walking up the field down 21-0. They can keep drives going. They're going to keep this close. I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah,
I can't do it until I see the Patriots beat the Bills.
And so you see Tom Brady bloodied on the field.
I can't say they're going to do it because I just come off like a douchebag homer. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be that guy because I think they're going to keep it competitive. I think it's going to be 27-23. 27-23. And I think the Bills are going to really make a statement and show up and give Tom Brady a real tough time.
Well, I actually believe as well. I believe it. I think they're going to give him a tough time. I think that Tom Brady hasn't faced his defense this year. They've had some injuries that have hampered his offensive line, and Buffalo's quick to get that line. The only difficulty they're going to have is that secondary. If Julian Edelman is back and he's able to slot him, which they do for those 17, 18 yards.
That changes everything.
No, apparently he practiced today. So if he's practicing, he's probably going to be back in. We can find out. But I have this one 24-20 for New England. I don't see them covering it. I think the Buffalo defense will be able to step up. Because it is in Buffalo, there will be dildos. And there will be sadness thrown in the field as well.
Dildos. And there will be table smashing.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be absolutely chaos in that place. Buffalo Stadium is absolutely mental. It's going to be awesome.
There was a thing
on first quarter is going to be so good, especially if they come out to me. I'm so excited. But Tom Brady, of course, is 30-3 career against the Bills, which is just insane.
It is very insane. The one thing you will say is that there was someone put a thing on Instagram yesterday about a strategy of how the Bills can beat the Patriots. And it was liked by none other than Tom Brady. So obviously he's watching this. Great, he's on Instagram. Here's the last game of
now he knows the secrets.
He does. He knows it. He knows exactly because they were found. Basically Belichick just goes on Reddit every week, and that's how he figures out how to beat him. He's like, I don't have a strategy. He's just on Reddit and watching
4chan.
Crank Yankers. 4chan and Crank Yankers. Let's go to the last game of the 6 p.m. game. Oh, woe is me in the South. Tennessee 1-2, Atlanta 1-2. Atlanta, though, 4-point favorites in this. 45.5 points over under. Hey, Atlanta, where did your O-line go?
What is
they have no O-line. It's one of the worst things. And, Tennessee, Marcus Mariota took 9 sacks against the Jaguars. 9 sacks. So, this is going to be an interesting battle. 45.5 points.
Mariota is fighting for his life right now because I think if they lose this, I think then Tannehill's going to be right on his chops. Because Tannehill looked in the preseason.
Yeah.
I think right now Mariota's going to be a free agent. Do you really want to pay him? Because after this, I'm not giving Mariota $30 million a year.
No,
not for that production. I think right now the Tennessee's really needs this win. I think it's going to be a real tough game for them. Don't know if they're going to be able to win. What do you think?
What have I got? I actually do. I believe Tennessee is going to win this one. I think it's going to be a tight game. But Tennessee's offensive line.
Because Atlanta's been so.
Tennessee's defense is better than Atlanta's offensive line, which means Matt Ryan is going to have to get the ball out quickly. I can see him spreading the ball around, but also I see Derrick Henry just gouging the crap out of Atlanta in this. I just see him running and being able to move the ball consistently. I have Tennessee winning this one 21-17.
Yeah, it's two desperate teams. I've taken Atlanta so many times that they've disappointed me so many times.
And they're in their dome.
Calvin really looked terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Atlanta one last shot. I think I'm gonna pick them for the last time. If they mess me for Chapman, if they mess me over this time, that's it. They're dead to me. I'm gonna take them, but it's gonna be 24-20.
24-20. And at this point, it's we're going to talk about our 9 p.m. games. Ryan, grab me a beer from the fridge. Brought to you by BrewDog. They're no sponsor of ours, but we like to drink in their beer. As I said, we will be at the Belushi's Hammersmith this week if you want to catch us. And also, if you're in New Jersey and you're watching this, check out US Odds. They're helping us out with some of the odds in New Jersey. And Ryan and I make all our picks and put them up there so you can make some money every week. Moving on to our 9 o'clock game. Yeah. Oh my God. Sharon Beer. Little bitch. Was that the last one?
Friends share beer.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But anyway.
BrewDog's bad sponsor. Look. TB at LAR. It sounds like an infection, but it's actually Tampa Bay who's 1-2. Jeez. At the LA Rams 3-0. Lucky ducky. How did you get to 3-0? Barely. But they're 9.5 point favorites. 9.5. Have you seen the Rams play? They barely got away from Cleveland.
Well, yeah, but I think it's especially Todd Gurley, who just does
9.5
not
and a 49.5.
Does not look the same.
Goff has got no O-line either. This is another team that has no O-line.
It has definitely been struggling. I think Aaron Donald
Cleveland kept it close.
Yeah, it's getting better. Yeah, they had the chance to win it. So I think the Rams have been a bit lucky. I think they're not that offense that everyone's scared of anymore. So it'll be a really interesting team to see who they are when it comes to playoff time. Because, I think it's all about Cooper Kupp. Cooks looks good. Robert Woods hasn't really been doing anything this year.
He's got a lot of double coverage.
Todd Gurley, who's running at my number one pick in fantasy, has been running at like 3 yards a carry. Just doesn't lack the explosiveness. And I think right now, without Gurley being that engine that gets that offense going, we're seeing them really struggle. I think Tampa Bay is definitely going to keep this close because I think Bruce Arians finally got Mike Evans going. Because Mike Evans is a beast. Mike Evans
he's amazing.
Has been this guy for the last first couple of years of his career. Was one of the best receivers in football. The last couple of years has really kind of stepped back because of Jameis Winston. Really not his fault. They had a chance to win that game last week. Mm-hmm. They took a 5-yard penalty and then knelt. So they had 7 yards back further and then missed the kick. That is ridiculous. They should have won that game. Then Jameis Winston, we wouldn't have all these questions. I think they're going to keep it close, but I think the Rams are going to win 30-27.
30-27. Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is going to have to keep this close because I think the Rams are the luckiest team in football right now.
Yeah, I think
they really are lucky. They were so close in each one of the games that they've almost lost. And, the coming back against Cleveland, there's a lot of mistakes. Their O-line is just getting crushed. And, Tampa Bay's got a good pass rush, so I can really see them causing a lot of problems. Jameis Winston, I think, could be his own worst enemy. This is the problem. I think that LA might be able to score. His vision is bad, but his vision and his arm, to me, are just not that of a leading quarterback. He's on the Cam Newton down train as far as I'm seeing.
It's going to be
But I have LA winning this one 28, Tampa Bay 23, a 5-point spread that I've got it within the point spread and over-under. It's over. Okay. We will be watching some of these games. Hey, if you're in North London, why don't you watch the games at the Princess Alex in Crouch End? It's got a lot of celebrities there, he says, whispering in the microphone. But it is. It's a North London haunt. It's 10 minutes from Finsbury Park Tube. And they will be doing some things with the Bears-Raiders game. Because it's 25 minutes on the W3 bus. Boom, right up there, and you're right back. Excellent. You get out of Park Road, you're right there, and the pub is open till 4 a.m.
Excellent.
4 a.m. Next week. All right, Seattle at Arizona. Seattle 2-1. Arizona 0-2-1. Seattle's favored this one by 5.5 points, and the over/under is 48 points. Kyler Murray took 8 sacks and 2 interceptions.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about Kyler Murray. When you watch the highlights of him in college, he was running all over the place. He was doing, and he's barely done anything with his legs. I think he's
this is the NFL though.
I think he's so trying to prove that he's a passer, being I'm not this little gadget guy.
Yeah.
And I think he just needs to unleash himself, let him start running a bit, because I feel like they're trying to make him into something he's not. And right now, he really needs to step up because they're really, everyone's going to kind of just forget about the Cardinals. This whole Cliff Kingsbury thing could be 2 years and done. Because if this is what we're going to see, it's not that impressive. They talked like this guy was going to revolutionize the game if he got Kyler Murray. It's going to bring in this air raid offense.
Yeah.
And it really hasn't shown up at all, so I don't really see much about, who do you think's going to win?
I have this one.
I want to pick Arizona, but every time I pick them,
I chose Arizona. I chose Arizona in this one. I think Seattle is also been a bit lucky, but the pass rush, they have no pass rush. So Kyler Murray's gonna have lots of time in this one. Their defense, while they're good,
well, they're supposed to have Clowney, but he hasn't.
No, but so the Seattle. Here's my whole thing: is Seattle can stop the run. They can slow down the run, but they can't stop. They're getting gouged. You look at what Andy Dalton. You look at how people have gouged their backfield. So this is going to be. I don't know if Penny is back as well for Seattle. It might be something. I don't know what's going to happen because I think he could have a big game. I think the running is what they need to take it to. But Arizona can throw it back. They're going to shut down the running game. But I think Larry Fitzgerald, they're going to be opening this up.
With the Arizona
I have Arizona winning this one, 24-21.
I'm going to go Seattle, 23-20. Okay. I think it's going to be close. But I'm going to trust in Russ.
I trust in Russ, but it's in Arizona. They're 0-2-1. And you know what? This kid has been moving around in Seattle.
But I think Seattle, these are the games. If Seattle's going to be a competitor in that division, these are games you just cannot lose.
These are the ones
you have to take care of Arizona.
They take it on the chin, Seattle. And this is their thing, right? They're 2-1, but they end up getting 500 and sneaking in and then being difficult. And that's sort of their growth pattern. But this one, I think, is going to be a tough one for them. I think they're overlooking it. They also have to play the Rams on Thursday. So are you looking forward to that? You're sort of going, we got this, but we got to play in 4 days.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for a team's motivation when you're playing in 4 days. But I have this one, Arizona 24, Seattle 21. Next big game. Hey, Chicago, we're going to Soldier Field. Minnesota 2-1 at the Bears 2-1. Chicago's only favored by 2 points. The over-under, 38. What? It's like a defensive match.
What is this, 1985?
It is, pretty much. But is the who the hell are these quarterbacks show? Mitchell Trubisky and Kissing Cousins. Both are playing. But I'd say Cousins playing even worse.
Yeah, Cousins hasn't been great. I think because Dalvin Cook's kind of taken over the team, I think it's now his team. So Kirk Cousins is going to be one of those guys. I think they're stuck. I think signing him for 3 years was the smartest thing, because 3 years you can just cut bait and move on from him. Dalvin Cook will still be that, but it's all about their defense. I think this is a good team, but they've stopped using Stephon Diggs, which I find really weird.
Well, I think he's getting a lot of coverage.
So I think they've also, because they've spent so much money on Thielen and on Diggs right now, and just not getting the production out of Diggs because Dalvin Cook's taken over and still moving the ball. Defense, I think they're going to look to maybe even trade Diggs. I can see them just saying, this isn't working anymore. Let's focus take some of that money, move it somewhere else. But
you got great wide receivers and a quarterback that can't hit them.
But I think Trubisky, I think this is such a...
Could you imagine Adam Thielen with Drew Brees? Damn.
Yeah, no. Well, he's got Michael Thomas, so if he had Michael Thomas, it'd be unstoppable. But right now, I think Trubisky had a big game last week. I think because it's that Bears D and Kirk Cousins against big teams, winning teams, always struggles. And the Bears are a team that's going to make him struggle. I think Trubisky had a big game, but he's still got to have an even bigger game. He's got to play just as good, if not better, because he only beat, the Redskins last week? So he only beat them. So I think right now we're going to go with the Bears. I think they're going to win it 24-17.
24-17. Yeah, I acknowledge as a Bears fan that Mitch has got his problems. His linear mindset and QB sort of functionality to me has been an issue. But I think this game, being in Soldier Field, being at home, we got to limit Dalvin Cook. Khalil Mack and Danny Trevathan have basically just got the pass rush. He's never seen this kind of pass rush yet. No. The Packers were all right, but this is us, and we're getting better every week. If you looked at basically how Washington was just tossed around like ragdolls last week, that's what we're going to do. They're going to have to try to establish the run, but I can see Kirk Cousins dying in this one. Also, I think that when I look at Adam Thielen, do you think that Tom Brady like just dreams of him? Because those two, he's big white receiver that would just go.
You have some white receiver. You know what? Listen, I think anyone would Tom Brady.
Anyone love it. Anyone.
Let's not talk about Tom Brady. That's not.
We won't talk about him, but it's going to ruin Ryan's mojo. I have this one. Chicago.
I got to go out later tonight.
Chicago 30 and Minnesota 20. This game, well, it'll be on Red Zone. Jacksonville 1-2. Denver 0-3.
But not in my mind.
The Minshew Mania. Hey, if you have the Minshew Mania.
Again, this is exactly the same thing as I'm talking about with Kyle Allen. It's this, hey, maybe Gardner Minshew will take us to the Super Bowl, and then.
Well, so people got in with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick, everyone's like, oh, he's gonna save us.
And then he's gonna throw picks, and you'd be like, you porn looking.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, get off my team.
Someone's gonna trash his Trans Am.
Because the problem is you got Nick Foles, and when he comes back, depending on what Gardner Minshew did, you pay Nick Foles all this money. Do you go back to him? Because Nick Foles is a Super Bowl winner. So he's just got that thing of, is he even going to get his job back? So that's, to me, does the legend of Gardner Minshew with his mustache, and everyone thinks. I love that it's just someone with a mustache just gets all this press. If he was just some weird looking dude, no one would even care.
I think it's sometimes when you're in your 20s.
Because he looks like porn stuff.
When you're in your 20s and you can sometimes grow a mustache, there's a lot of guys who can't grow a mustache in their 20s, and this guy can. And so it's like, oh my God, you're a man. You're not. Come on.
I think
he's a young kid.
To me, this is Joe Flacco's prove it game. I think Joe Flacco has to prove it. I think Denver has to get some pressure on Gardner Minshew and get some sacks. Von Miller is going to be angry.
Has to.
I think because it's in Denver, I'm going to go with Denver to win this. I think Joe Flacco is going to have his best game of the year, even though it's against that tough defense. Because right now, Jordan Ramsey isn't really showing up. He's just like,
Jalen Ramsey. Is he going to show up at all?
Jalen Ramsey's just like, maybe my kid's being born this day.
Yeah, it could be.
My back hurts.
Yeah. I got a Chuck E. Cheese.
But I think Denver at home, Gardner Minshew has never played in this environment, which is a tough place to play, regardless of who you are. but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say it's going to be 17-14.
17-14. I also have this a low-scoring game, and I wonder, as we talk about the Mile High Stadium in terms of the air pressure and in terms of the altitude they have, but that's what I wonder. If everyone in Denver smoked a joint at the same time and blew it in the stadium, would it have an effect? Now, if there's any scientists out there, I'd love to pop into this, because I think it'd be interesting. If 65,000 people...
Get through that fourth quarter haze.
Yeah. Just like, can you imagine? Just... And you've got like tokers on the front row.
That would be amazing.
Look, I do have Denver winning this as well. Minshew Mania, I think, is... Jalen Ramsey's distraction. What's going to happen with this team? Again, it's Mile High. Denver is 0-3. They cannot go 0-3. John Elway will shoot someone in the back of the stables. I think if they go 0-4... and Von Miller does need to step up in this one. This is a perfect opportunity for this. It will be a defensive battle, but I have Denver winning this one and pushing it 20-17, keeping in the under, but also want to push in terms of the 3 points. This game, here's a game. This one's on at 1:20 in the morning. Where are you going to watch this one? Pretty much nowhere in London, because everything's shut down. Come to my house if I'm awake. Dallas 3-0, or are they Super Bowl champs? At New Orleans 2-1. Dallas favored by 3. The over-under in this one is 47 points. Dak Prescott has destroyed teams like the Giants and Washington.
Miami.
And Miami. So, I mean, man.
Again, this is one of those questions now. It's like, finally, some big games are starting to come now.
Yeah.
Finally, we'll get some truths about Dak.
Yeah.
Is he worth all that money? So I think this is a big game for him. He's going up against a tough New Orleans defense who played really well. Teddy Bridgewater did. I think Alvin Kamara is going to step up. And I really think I'm actually going to pick New Orleans to win this. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm going with a little bit of an upset because I think Dallas is the better team. But I think finally, just because it's the first real test, I think New Orleans is going to come out to a bit of a lead early. And Sean Payton, I think, is just the better coach.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go them to win 27-26.
27-26. Ryan's almost looking at my score there. I've got this one, New Orleans winning as well. 27-24, though, I have this one. Tight one. I think Dallas is going to have to try to come back. Look, they can shut down the running game. That's one thing Dallas can do. But also, they've never faced this New Orleans defense. Dak has never faced this kind of pressure before. New Orleans does have a great defense. Yep. They stunt it. They do a 4-6. They put a lot of pressure and they move a lot of moving parts in this. And while they might be able to stop Kamara, I don't think they'll be able to stop Thomas. Teddy Bridgewater looked good, but I think he's going to look a lot better this weekend when Sean Payton has a lot of times to mess with them and get them going. Dallas is going to face a very tough, they're going to face an O-line. I think New Orleans is one of the best O-lines in the game, I would say. Everyone's envious of this O-line.
Well, that's a
so they get a lot of protection.
If you can win this game, you go 2-0 without Drew Brees. This is a massive step.
Big one. So I have this one, 27-24. And then we move to the Monday night game. Hey, in England, we call this what happened last night?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning, yeah.
Tuesday morning.
Sometimes, if I go to bed early, I can wake up and I catch the end of it. But like 5 a.m. and barely, if you can catch it. But then I'm like,
which would have been a good game a couple years ago is now a bit of a down.
The Bengals have been, so both teams are 0-3, which when you sort of look at this, someone has to win.
I know Pittsburgh has the potential.
Somebody has to win. Now here's an interesting thing I was reading about. So because they made the trade with Miami, they could have potentially given away a top 5 pick.
Absolutely.
So
it's the same thing.
And if your quarterback sucks, and Miami takes a quarterback,
the Bills are in the same division, so it's like when Cleveland had the first and the fourth pick.
Yeah.
Because of Deshaun Watson, because when he got hurt.
But imagine if Miami then takes a quarterback that Pittsburgh could have used with Agent Ben and Mason Rudolph sucking it up.
Well, that's why for Minkah Fitzpatrick. But that's why it was a terrible trade. It was not a wise trade.
It wasn't a
desperate trade.
Yeah.
Right now, I actually think Cincinnati's going to win this. I think Andy Dalton's the better quarterback. I don't think Mason Rudolph is good enough. I don't think this team has that fight in them right now. I think. Right now, I'm going to go with who's the better quarterback, who can score more points. Joe Mixon looked a bit better last week, and John Ross has looked good. And I think Andy Dalton, these teams just know each other. And I think Andy Dalton plays well against Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati to win 21-17.
21-17. Look, it's in Pittsburgh. Their fans are going to be pissed. James Conner has not done anything this year. He's been negligible.
I haven't been fancy.
But also his Juju. So I really think Pittsburgh is going to want to satisfy their home fans here. I think they're going to put a bit of a beating on Cincinnati. I think they're actually going to start racking them up. They've seen the way that Cincinnati comes back. Cincinnati plays with sort of no hope. And Pittsburgh is going to be at home. This is a 44-point over-under on a Monday night. I have Pittsburgh winning this one 30-20. And I have it solid. I have Cincinnati having to come back from this sucker because Pittsburgh and Juju are going to put enough of a beatdown on them. If you want to watch the games, I said we'll be at Belushi's Hammersmith this Sunday, and also at the Princess Alex. We move it around in Crouch End. Come up to North London. It's 10 minutes away from Finsbury Park. It's open at 1 a.m. as well. And then we'll let you know about all the other games, folks. Also, if you want to bet, we'll put on check on our betting page on NFLinLondon.com. Follow us on social media, Twitter, if people are still on that, Instagram and Facebook. Thanks a lot for listening. Have a good one.